Bro, I've honestly held off like making this video for too long to determine whether bigger is better. I wonder how many times I have to label out short players to determine whether they should be a bigger class versus the stupid short class that they're using.
It's crazy how it's like the NHL 21 videos when they're like post them and whatnot and be like 100 some views and be like, hell yeah, we got over 100.
Sorry. That's what happens.
These guys can't avoid my hits at all, ever. And then he gets injured from that. I'm gonna probably have at least 30 hits in this game, probably. Down. So in this video, I'm going to show you my top 5 builds that I've been using for threes. When I say bigger is better, honestly, in this game it is. I don't know how many times I gotta try to press that whenever I'm playing games. Every time I'm going up against a shorter player, I know I can hit him. And it's a lot easier to do so in this game than it is in last game. That's just in my opinion. So I'm going to show you guys 2 defensive builds, and then the rest are going to be offensive builds. So let's get into the very first build. This is a 2-way defenseman class, 6'2", 210. So this is pretty average if you think about it in terms of height, size, what people typically use. But for some reason, people are still hanging on to the idea that a shorter class is going to outskate the bigger classes. That's not the case. Bigger classes can keep up with shorter classes. Plain simple. So what I got here for my zone ability is quick pick. Now, unstoppable force, the ability to hold on to the puck and kind of keep your balance while you're getting hit. Honestly, this is crucial. Advanced strength with the puck and an increased ability to hold on to the puck when off balance. So when those shorter players are trying to hit me, who's 210, they're not going to really be able to nudge me off the puck. The only thing they can do is if I'm going head on to them, then they'll hit me. Things like that. Now, for the second ability, I mean, 1T. I mean, the thing is, for all these builds, there's not going to be one set thing that you use. You can substitute this with multiple things. So 1T, I just recently started using. What I was using before was no contest. That's just helps with being able to grab the puck when you're reaching for it. It's winning those puck battles, things like that. So what you got to do when you're using these classes is you got to understand how your style compares to other people. So I'm going to give you my recommendations for these builds, but it's not going to be that you are going to just copy this build and say, yeah, it's fine. No, you got to play with the build and then make small tweaks tailored to your play style and what you feel that you are lacking. Now, in terms of boost, again, this is all player based. What I've done here is go with defensive awareness. So +4 for defensive awareness, and then I also have +4 for stick checking. So the ability to intercept the puck, win those puck battles in the defensive zone, and then also be able to stick check, like poke check, stick lift, all that kind of stuff goes with this class to make it as high as it could possibly go, at least for what I've added. So basically, I've made my speed an 83. My balance is at 77. Agility is at 81. Now, in this category for play style, everything is a positive, which is good, right? You really want to make sure that your strength is high, at least in the 80s in terms of size, because, again, you want to be able to hold on to the puck when guys are hitting you. Now, for discipline, I raised this up to a 90. The only thing you have to worry about when you're playing defenseman is the ability to make those breakout passes. So if you feel like you are struggling with passing, I would recommend switching out one of these boosts to help with passing, to get that up to a 90, things like that. So again, what you feel you are lacking, you have to adjust this build to fit your playstyle, what you feel like you're having troubles with, and then see how that affects when you're actually testing it out. So this is the 2-way defenseman build. This is what I recommend. This is a good starting point, and then you can make slight adjustments based on what you feel like you need. Second, I have the puck moving defenseman, 6'1", 195. But I have elite edges on. So here you can pretty much do whatever you want. I don't really feel like you need magnetic because, again, you're not going to be the one that's going to be trying to receive those passes. Those are going to be more for your offensemen who need to be able to get those breakout passes that you're sending them. So send it is a good one to have. Take the tape is a good one as well if you want to, again, for those breakout passes. But if you feel like you need a little more ability to skate with the puck, elite edges definitely works, and this is something that I feel like I wanted to go with just because my passing is not too bad. All right, and now for the abilities. Now, again, This is all to your play style. I went with no contest and unstoppable force, so I want to be able to win those puck battles in my own zone, and then also to be able to hold on to the puck when guys are trying to hit me. And then with the boost, I went with the exact same thing I did for my two-way defenseman, which is stick checking and defensive awareness, just to kind of really be the best I could possibly be in my own zone. I upped my speed up to an 86 doing this. 84 for agility is kind of low, so again, that's why I went with elite edges. So when you have the puck and you make those turns, that kicks in, and that does help out and even the scales when it comes to your agility. Passing, I went with an 89. Now again, I could always, if I feel like my passing is good, I can always subtract this and maybe up it to maybe defensive awareness or possibly some more body checking, depending on if you feel like you're not hitting anybody. So now here I upped my strength to 78 while lowering my shot block as low as it could possibly be. Shot blocking in this game, I don't really think is a priority when you're playing threes, because again, people are trying to look for the cross crease. So as long as you can defend the cross crease, that's where defense awareness comes in. Then you wouldn't have an issue. And then here again, lowered my face styles, my fighting skill, and applied all that to discipline to make that 86. Now, of course, for this build, we don't have quick pick, but again, you can always substitute one of these to have quick pick if you feel like you need it. So this is what I have for my puck moving defenseman at 6'1", 195. Now we're going to start getting into offensive classes, and the one thing I want to do first is look at my two-way forward class. This is something that I think is more of a versatile class, the ability to play offense and defense as well. So I went with the exact same size as my two-way defenseman class, 6'2", and 210. Now here with the zone ability, I went with no contest because honestly the rest of these don't really help so much. Again, you could have quick pick if you really want to be more of a defensive forward, things like that, but no contest does actually do what you want it to do. No contest or quick pick are going to be probably my two abilities that I would kind of work with. And then here I went with tape to tape, and then I also went with actually quick pick for a superstar ability. So just because I do want to also help out on the defensive side, again, you could have that as a zone and have the no contest as a superstar if you wanted to have that, or you can have whatever else you want. Or maybe if you wanted to have puck on a string or send it, or I mean, you already have tape to tape. Maybe if you want to have close quarters or something, it's also a good substitute to have. Make it snappy is a good one. Things like that. Even 1T works as well if you wanted to substitute that. So as far as my boost, putting something more maybe towards offensive awareness, passing, even stick checking, defensive awareness, kind of what I've been saying before. Perhaps even puck control if you wanted to have that. Maybe some more balance. I do have core balance here for this build to make it at a 78. The strength is already at 82, so I don't really see too much of trying to stack on that. But again, I wanted to help. I wanted to be better in the offensive zone more for this class, but again, it's not a penalty if you wanted to maybe go for a defense awareness boost as well. Made my speed again at an 83. I'm actually better for my balance. Agility is at 81. The passing is at an 87. Offensive awareness, because of my boost, makes it at a 91. 74 for body check. You don't really need it to have it too highly stacked. And then stick checking, defensive awareness is actually pretty good. It being 85 and 88 the way it was, so I didn't really do anything with that. Strength being at 82, durability at 78. And now for here, all my forward classes are going to be tailored towards you playing center. Now for faceoffs, the problem here is that people are going to want to have that as close to 90, if not 90, all the time. But the problem is you can't have a very high discipline in that category either. And when you're playing center, especially in like sixes, is going to be a huge deal when it comes to being able to play and cover the slot. And if you have a poor discipline, you're making pokes and things like that, and you're getting penalties, it's not really good to have faceoffs so high. But you do need to have, I think, a decent faceoff. Now 88, it's not beneficial. You don't really need to have it at 88. You could have it a little bit lower, 86, things like that, and really apply it more for discipline, things like that. If you feel like you're winning faceoffs, but you're getting penalties, I would make that switch. Make sure that your discipline is at a high enough stat so that you're not getting too many penalties. All right, so this is my two-way forward build. I'm going to get into a more of a size build, but again, it's going to be more tailored towards 6'2", 210 as well. So here we got a power forward. Now this is again 6'2", 210, but I feel a lot bigger with this build without even being bigger, technically. And I still have my speed as the same as my two-way defenseman. So I feel like this may be more of an OP build at times, but we'll see as we look through it. So zone ability, unstoppable force. Now again, you can go with big rig here. You can go with truculence if you feel like you want to be able to hit guys. Now, I was playing with one of my teammates. We were playing drop-ins, and he was playing as a power forward defenseman. Now, the power forwards don't have the best defensive stats at all, you know? But he put on truculence, and he was able to lay the body on everybody. This definitely does help if you want to be able to get more hits. Truculence is the way to go. Now, for my superstar abilities, again, all this could be changed, but I do recommend putting on big rig just in case you are going through the net. Back at you, I think also combines with that. I don't really know how this gets triggered. If anybody can actually let me know on how back at you actually works, but if somebody can let me know how this actually gets triggered, I would highly appreciate that. But beyond that, again, you could always make the switch to him and put truculence here as well. So just to really stack on that. So what I did here is I put controlled passing because my passing was at an 80, and I feel like that's really low, especially in this game when passing is definitely tougher to do. So I made that at an 84, and then I put positional IQ to make my defense awareness a little bit better. So my stick tracking, as you see, is an 80. Defense awareness is at 81. It's on the low side, but it's actually not too bad when it comes to a forward. When you compare this to a sniper, things like that, and they're in the 70s, you're actually better than them when it comes to defense, which is a big thing, especially when you have a really high body checking as it is too. Exactly the same speed as my two-way forward and my two-way defenseman. This is all average stuff that I'm putting down. Balancing that 81, which is amazing. Well, puck control is pretty high, and that's good for a power forward. 86 for offense awareness. You could change the defense awareness and put that to offense awareness. 83 body checking is outstanding. Combine that with truculence, you got yourself a huge build for that. Strength is at 86. 86 strength. Combine that with unstoppable force, back at you, big rig. You have yourself a huge build here. So right here, this is a huge build. And again, you can even make this bigger, but the problem is you want to try to at least be keeping up with them 90, 92 speed builds, right? In 83, it's actually pretty good. And I'm going to show you guys something about speed. I have clips set up, and you're going to see exactly that there is a speed bug. What I mean by that is when you get the puck, when you're in stride, when you bounce off the boards, right? Things like that, and you get the puck, your player somehow gets this speed boost like you're Connor McDavid. Doesn't matter what size you are, doesn't matter what weight you are, it does not matter. You all of a sudden feel like you have the wheels zone ability that Connor McDavid has for a brief time. If you were to stop in stride, you would lose that speed and you would never gain it back. But it's like when you go and you get the puck in stride, your player somehow gets this speed boost added on, which is why I say bigger builds are better than shorter players, because shorter players are not out skating us bigger guys. They're not. And I'm going to showcase it right now.
I don't know. Even with 90 speed and 93 acceleration, I still feel slow.
Yeah. It's like only very... Like, I feel like when I have the puck, I'm fast as hell. I don't know why. Like, you're skating faster than me with the puck. And I can still school some of these guys. Look, all of a sudden I got a burst of speed. Where did this come from? Honestly, where did that come from? I felt that was as fast as I've ever been. And that was because of me skating with the puck. Because the main thing to look at is how I'm skating compared to other people around me. So this Dangler that's with me, right? Is he a Dangler? Look, I'm faster than him. I'm faster than my teammate. I should not be faster than my teammate. I have the puck. So, but then when I stop skating, he actually gains speed over me. Like when I stop sprinting, that's what it's like. When you initially get a puck and you're in full stride, you get this speed boost. Why? Why do I get it? So that is why I say bigger builds right now are the way to go. Bigger is better. for NHL 22. At least for now. Maybe a tuner update by EA can maybe see that that's an issue and maybe tweak it. Then we can talk about updating these builds to fit those who need to have speed. So here I've got the Dangler build. Now, I don't have this really set. The issue is I don't really like running these builds so much. I don't like being a sniper, a playmaker, a dangler, because the thing is I'm a guy that plays defense mainly. So when I pick a forward class, I want to at least have some ability to defend. So you already see danglers, snipers, playmakers. Every time you click into them, they have a 75 or less for stick checking and defense awareness. I don't like that, especially combined with a really low body checking too. I don't really like that. That's just me, my style, which is why I don't play these classes so much. But I did need to apply. I did need to add at least one of these types of builds into the top 5 because you do need these types of guys. Now, again, you can actually have pretty much the same thing when it comes to a dangler, a playmaker, a sniper, because you're going to be on the shorter side. You're going to be trying to have your speed pretty high. But again, when you already see that the fact that bigger builds are catching up to you, you kind of want to try to match them at least a little bit as much as you can, while also trying to have something that they don't. So, which is why I went with the Dangler build, because no other build can really dangle as good as the Dangler. And the sniper has a really good shot. So if you have a sniper build, I would suggest putting something towards like close quarters, make it snappy, things like that, that makes your shot OP, because you need that if you're going to compete against these guys that are going to be almost outskating you. And you need to have something that they don't, which is why I see a lot of snipers having all their abilities towards their shot. But for here, this is my build. If I were to use this, this is what I would go with. Now, deking's at 99. Yeah, again, that's a little OP. I don't really have this build set to exactly what I want, but I was just kind of screwing around a little bit. But again, all this stuff is a starting point. It's not the end product for you guys, at least. And even this build, in case for me, it's not the end product either. So, but regardless, 6'1", 195, that just fits more for me. Ankle breaker, I feel like this is a good one to have, especially again when you're trying to maintain top speed. If you can combine that with the speed bug that I was just mentioning, when you're in stride and you have this on and you're able to make a couple of these, you can actually put guys in the dust with this build. You can. So I do recommend ankle breaker with this. Now, puck on a string's not bad, and it is the first thing that you can use. Magnetic is also a good one if you feel like you're not getting the puck when you're in stride. If it just keeps tipping off your stick, then it's kind of useless. So you need to have magnetic to kind of help you receive those pucks with ease. Now, regardless here, it's tricky. I actually do want to change this. I would make a change and probably put close quarters on, magnetic, even tape the Tay, something like that. That would help just more for the offense of side of things. And especially as a dangler, you're not going to be doing much defense. This is a guy that I would send to forecheck the other team to cover the point and be open for a pass. That's all I would have him do for this build. So shot, magnetic, the ability to pass, things like that definitely works for this build. Beyond that, unstoppable force, I feel like it's a good one to have, because again, you do need to be able to at least try to nudge off some checks, things like that. But again, the bigger builds are going to be able to hit you regardless of what you have here. But I guess it does help with those shorter builds trying to hit you as well. So again, the height and the weight kind of do it for you. But then unstoppable force, combine that with a 5'7", 160 guy trying to hit you. I think this would work pretty well. What I have for my boost is controlled deking, so you can make your deking at 99. Combine that with ankle breaker, you can do any deke out there without losing the puck. I feel like this is going to make you that much more dynamic and unique to those bigger builds that can't do that, which is why I said you need to have something that the other builds don't have if you don't have the speed factor kicking in for you. Scoring threat to make my offensive awareness at 95. If this is an offensive build, you need to have high offense. Screw defense. You don't need it. You don't need it. The only thing you need to do when you're in the defensive zone is cover the point. All you need to do is get in his way. Same thing when you're forechecking. Get in the guy's way. You don't need to successfully take the puck off of anybody when you're using a mainly offensive build, because you're trying to force it when you don't have the attributes on your side. So don't do it. So you definitely need to have offensive awareness, the scoring threat, and then something for your deking to make it even more OP. The speed is not really as high as I would really want it to be. I was hoping I could maybe get it to at least like an 89 or so. But again, when I have my height and weight almost exactly how it is for my two-way classes, an 86 is pretty good to use. So 86 for speed, 75 for balance is actually not bad if you think about it. But again, it's still on the lower side compared to those bigger builds. But it is something good to use. 85 for agility is definitely not bad. Acceleration, the ability for that have that at 86 is good. Puck control is at 89, which is what you want to have. If you can even get that up to a 90 or so, that would be pretty good too, to try to make yourself that much better in the offensive zone. Offensive awareness, you need to try to have this as high as you possibly can. So 95 is always good. Body checking at 69, that's just how it is. It's going to be low. You're not going to be able to hit. Same thing with stick checking, defensive awareness. You're not going to be able to defend. So don't be trying to cover them cross creases, because you're not going to be able to. That's why you have two other teammates that should be more tailored towards defensive builds. I'm gonna give you guys what I recommend in terms of a team, in terms of classes, things like that. Now, I do want to let you guys know this build is not a center class. To be able to make your deking in a 99, you have to sacrifice your face-off and discipline as well. So again, don't be trying to go for a poke check, things like that, because you will not succeed. And especially with a low 81 face-off, which could be 80 at that point, you can't be playing center, because now you could try, but in the end, I feel like somebody who has a 90 face-off is definitely going to beat you with an 81, especially if you do the same exact draw. They could be a little bit late, and I feel like they'll still get it, but I don't have evidence for that. I don't have video proof of that. If you feel like an 81 face-off is actually working for you and you're playing center, then rock it. So this is my offensive build, mainly offensive class that I would use, is a Dangler. Now, again, sniper, already told you some substitutes. I don't have a sniper class. It's not something that I would use because it has very low deking. But the Dangler build for me, combine that with maybe close quarters, things like that in this area, and then possibly even puck on a string or something else, tape to tape. If you feel like your passing's low, definitely works here in that case. But again, all these are starter builds where you would need to use these and change it as you go to fit your playstyle. That's just what I would recommend. Now, in terms of a team, what should you guys be running? Well, you should at least have one guy that is this build, Dangler, a short guy that is going to be mainly that offensive guy who can snipe the puck, guy who can dangle, do all that kind of stuff that they need to do, a guy who can cover the point, forecheck, kind of like what I've been talking about before. All you need is one player that can do that. The other two players should be able to defend. So I would recommend your versatile player either be two-way forward or power forward. These two builds work for that amazingly. And then obviously your teal is going to be one of these two classes. Basically what I'm saying is you need one offensive player that lacks defense, and the other two players are more or less two-way type players that know how to play offense and defense. Obviously, your teal guy's not going to go up so much, so you could actually put in a defensive defenseman class if you wanted to. But I feel like for threes, you do need to have some ability to play offense, because not everything is so cut clean where you're able to have your two forward guys going up in a rush every single time. Who knows? You could have a 2-on-1 opportunity or a breakaway opportunity for your teal guy. And if you have a defensive defenseman class that lacks offense, you ain't gonna be able to do anything. My team runs exactly like this. They have a Dangler class, not exactly what I have, but again, it's kind of tailored more towards his play style. My second forward guy plays either power forward or two-way forward. He actually also plays grinder, but I don't really see grinders shining in threes as much as they used to. And then obviously I mainly play a two-way defenseman. I do also sometimes switch to a puck moving defenseman just to see the difference, but I do mainly like to have the two-way defenseman with quick pick and things like that. So these are my top 5 builds that I use for threes. I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys think that these are builds that you would use, or do you have something that outshines mine? Let me know what you guys think. I hope you guys like this one, and I'll see you guys next time.